Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to Illini Drive. I am Josh Pietsch, joined alongside, as usual, with Gabby Hajduk. Gabby, how you doing today?
I'm doing okay. Kind of tired, kind of just like, bleh.
Well, you're not going to be tired anymore.
Yeah, I got my Starbucks that Josh owed me.
I did.
Venti broke his bank account.
A whole $5.83 for the Venti, yeah. That's right in the recap. Thank you. I told you I didn't want to do it Friday, and you did it for me.
I did.
For proper reasons.
Yes.
And I think it worked out.
Yeah, I would say it was an even trade-off.
Yeah, Gabby and I were up early this morning for the Illini Sports Podcast with Brendan. We had Ryan Baker on there. He was awesome, wasn't he?
He was awesome. Really special guest. Really happy he was able to come on, especially because right now he's a morning anchor at CBS. So very busy guy, especially right now when everything that happens in the country is newsworthy pretty much. So really glad he took the time out of his day to talk to us, so be sure to look out for that tomorrow morning. It was really good to talk to him, but we've been up early. Josh has seen way too much of me today. He's sick of me.
Yeah, and I'm going to be seeing even more of you after this. We'll get into that later, but it's going to be a lot of Gabby. But yeah, Ryan Baker was awesome. We talked to him about Illini football and basketball. We talked to him about the Cubs and the Sox. He acted like I'm sure he is, but the vibe I got, he's pretty much an expert on everything. Like, he covers everything to the max.
Was a manager, which I didn't know this actually till Brendan told me. Sorry, Ryan. But he was a manager for the Flying Illini basketball team. Then obviously went on. He covered sports in Champaign for a few years and then covered like every sport in Chicago. Yeah. And he's obviously in a University of Illinois alum. Yep. So he knows every Illinois sport super well, every Chicago sport super well. So I would agree with that statement that he's pretty much an expert on everything.
It's also pretty cool. He told us that he was on Lovie Smith's first ever press conference when he started coaching the Bears.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool, too.
Said he has not changed very much.
No.
Same answers.
He has
the same answers out of Lovie.
Yeah, he said he's losing up probably a little bit.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Which I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out.
I think so,
shout
too.
out Ryan Baker.
My father also agreed with that. But yeah, no, that was fun. Only problem was getting up way too early. I was up at 7:30. I haven't been up that early since, well, I don't even know when, and that's not good. I wake up for like a 10 a.m. class now, and I'm dreading it.
Yeah.
Get up 7:30.
It's tough.
Yikes. It is tough.
It is.
All right. Well,
don't really want to get into it, but let's get into this weekend.
Don't really want to start talking about, what we are. I'm sure everyone knows what's coming. Gabby and I sat here on Thursday contemplating whether or not to take Illinois to beat Wisconsin. I basically guaranteed a cover of the spread. Yeah, they lost like 45-7 to Wisconsin, who is very talented. Graham Mertz, the whole hot shot recruit thing was spot on. Mm-hmm. Dude was insane. Their running back game was all right. Their defense was phenomenal. Yeah. That tight end Ferguson of theirs was fantastic. Illinois got their butts handed to them. Yeah. And
the nicest way to put it, too.
That is the nicest way to put it. I mean, it was close for 2 quarters. Maybe.
I'd say 1.5. 1.5. And then that end of the second quarter, Wisconsin just took off with it, and there was the game. There was no coming back.
All right, so Gabby, one thing Lovie Smith does always say to us is that this is the best offense he's had for sure in his time here. This is going to be the best Illinois team, which he usually has never said in the past. As a Bear, he would never say things like that, even during the Super Bowl year. We've been hearing that this is supposed to be the best team, and they just got shut out on offense. The only touchdown was a defensive touchdown by Wisconsin, who by no means is a bad defense, but if you're, boasting some NFL talent, you should never get shut out in any game, even if against the best defenses. So what do you think went wrong?
Well, let me just say that was probably one of the most miserable games I watched. I was there, which was really cool, really fun, but I would have liked to see a little more action on the offensive side. I don't even know where to start with what happened. Brandon Peters did not look good. Heisman run over.
Yeah, dang it.
And not that he's still talented, and I think he's going to be better. They're all going to be better from what we saw. But he did not look good. I think he came out pretty flat. I think as much as him and Lovie and Rott say he didn't, it looked like he stared at Bebe every play. Donnie Navarro was open a couple times, wide open one time, like probably could have been a touchdown. didn't really look at any of the tight ends. Obviously, Daniel Matter-Bebe was apparently out with an injury, which we didn't know until after the game. Luke Ford got 1 target. Casey Washington, I think, had 1 catch, and he got injured on the catch. He targeted Bebe 10 times. Bebe caught 3. He had only 19 passes altogether. He was 8 for 19, like 87 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. He just did not look good. He did not look prepared at all. He did not look comfortable at all. He looked calm because he's always calm. So, like, I think he wasn't freaking out because he knows he's better than this. And you could tell in the post-game press conference, like, he usually never shows emotion. Like, he just sits there super monotone. He was mad. Like, you could hear the frustration in his voice. And then there was some weird thing going on with what they were doing with Isaiah Williams. Because he played super early, and I actually asked Lovey in the press conference, I was like, what was the plan with Isaiah? Like, was the plan to play him that early? He didn't really fully answer my question, but he kind of just said, like, the game plan was to play Isaiah a little. Brandon said what he thought was the game plan was supposed to be 3 or 4 snaps for Isaiah. That clearly was not the case, and Brandon said he was thrown off by that. Now this week, Lovey has obviously, and Rod have said, Brandon's our guy, but they're not afraid to use Matt Robinson or Isaiah, which I don't necessarily like that statement. I get you're going to be confident in your backups. That's great. I get if you want to have Isaiah come in, run a couple plays. None of his plays ever work out. From last year to this past weekend's game, he really never gains anything on any of these plays. So I don't really know what they're seeing out of him. They said he had like this phenomenal last couple weeks in practice. He never does anything when he comes in the game. So I don't see the point of frustrating Peters by taking him in and out just for Isaiah to really not do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know about you, but I know that Isaiah is a 5-star kid. He's from Texas. He's supposed to be really good, but when I see QB1 come out and Isaiah go in, I get concerned every single time. Not once in my 2 years or just over 1 year now of seeing these Illini teams have I felt confident when Isaiah Williams has gone in.
No.
And that's nothing against him because I know he is a great player. He's super talented. He wants to play quarterback, and he'll be that guy one day. If he stays here, he will be that guy one day. But right now, it's not the time. And if you want your quarterback to be successful, he needs confidence. We all know that confidence is arguably the number one thing, honestly, for a QB to be successful.
Yeah.
So,
especially if you already have like the foundation of talent that Peters has.
Exactly. So I agree. That concerned me. The targets were abysmal. 10 targets for Bebe. He only caught 3 of them. And I know there are a couple drops in there, and Bebe will shake that off. But so, again, something for Bebe I've talked about. I've talked about it with mainly Peters and Bebe. They got to be consistent. And if you're dropping first down balls at your chest, Bebe, that's not consistent. No. So that was a problem. The run game did not open up. Epstein and Brown combined for 48 yards. Peters had 75. He led the team. 87 yards passing. 8 for 19 for Peters. Isaiah was 0 for 3.
Yeah.
Isaiah had 1 rush for 5 yards.
Which
doesn't
isn't
even
anything.
Yeah, that's nothing. That compared to
unless
everything
it's a
else,
first down, which it wasn't.
Which it was not. No, it was
just,
a meaningless
it was like a
little
second
run.
or third down. I think the problem, and this is not me hating on Rod Smith at all. I think Rod Smith is a really good coach. He does not know what he wants to do with this offense. What he did with Isaiah is not establishing what you want to be with this offense. If you want to do this like 2 quarterback thing like the Saints kind of do, like that needs to be like prematurely thought out and ran by Peters.
And it needs to be consistent as well.
You can't be throwing Peters in on a 4th and 3 and when he hasn't been in the whole drive and expect anything to come of that. So I think Rod Smith's trying to do too much with the offense right now. And it was just like trying to, I don't even know, but he needs to like open up this playbook, let these, which also the receivers didn't do a great job of getting open. But that's the thing was like Donnie Navarro was open. He's really good at getting open. He might not be your best guy, your fastest, your strongest. Donnie's really good at getting open.
Yeah.
And so you need to just let these receivers make plays. These receivers are talented. These running backs are talented. What disappointed me was the offensive line, which didn't help out the run game at all. They weren't that good. But Rod Smith needs to establish what he wants to do with this offense. You can't be wanting Peters to do this and then bringing Isaiah in when Peters doesn't know why Isaiah is coming in. And then you have this confusion and this doubt and your receivers don't know what's going on. Like, if everyone's not on the same page about what they want this offense to be and, like, the identity of this offense, then we're going to see that continue to happen. We're going to see Friday night continue to happen.
So we do have to give a little bit of credit because it's not like they were at their own 20 the whole game. They got into Badger territory at least a handful of times. 0 for 3 on fourth down. No matter what the yardage is unacceptable because as a general rule, if you, unless it's QB sneak or a run on 4th and inches, that's supposed to be your best play. That's supposed to be your best short down play. And Wisconsin just handled them. There was no competition. I didn't think that any of them were going to be, good. I think that there was one bad spot on a Wisconsin 3rd or 4th down, but any of the Illinois ones, I didn't think that any of them were bad spots at all. So it just really concerns me when you're going for 4th down 3 times and you aren't even really close on any of the 3 of them.
And listen, I love going for 4th down. I think in any year past with Illinois or with Lovey, he would have not gone for 4th down. So I like the confidence. And that's the thing is, like, the confidence in their talent and their abilities is there. Otherwise, Lovey would not have gone for that 4th down. James McCourt could have hit a couple field goals. Like,
well, I think it's Rod's call, not Lovey's.
Really?
Rod calls the plays, doesn't
I know
he?
Rod calls the plays, but I feel like isn't it still Lovey's call?
It's probably both of them.
Yeah. But either way, like, there's confidence in the offense to try for that 4th down. But the play design and the execution was terrible.
Oh.
Like, you got to come up with a better play on 4th down than just, like, what was that, like, little thing to Mike Epstein, that one 4th down, and he got nowhere. He might have, like, lost a yard.
You know who you use on 4th downs? Tight ends.
Yes.
Luke Ford. Feel bad for him. I sat here and said that I thought he was going to break out.
Yeah.
And I thought him and Peters were going to be the 2, and I was very wrong. I don't even think it was an unfair assumption.
On 4th down.
Or the dude is a dual.
They didn't touch him. Anytime he ran for it, they did not touch him. Like, they did not respect him as a runner.
7 carries for 75 yards is legit. 10.5 yards per carry is legit. I agree. Use that. So Illinois probably would have lost anyways. You never know for sure. Me personally, my confidence went way down the drain the second play of the game. When Epstein fumbled, man.
I think that set the tone.
That really did set the tone because first down on the first play.
Yeah.
And then Epstein in his another he didn't get injured. He's okay. He's healthy. He's going to play on Saturday against Purdue.
Yeah.
He fumbled. They scored. My confidence shot down.
You let Graham Mertz get comfortable. You let a rookie quarterback who just stepped into the starting spot because of an injury get comfortable. Yeah. If they would have at least gotten on the field, had to punt, okay, he's pinned. He's not comfortable. He's nervous. Whatever. He was in Illinois, third? He was at their 30 or something to start.
39 maybe.
Something like
he's
comfortable. That's easy. Yeah. And you let him get comfortable. That said some for the whole
And
game.
another thing is that it was like 3rd and 8 or 3rd and 9 on the very first play, and they had like a wimpy screen pass. And hey, if you don't tackle in practice, how are you supposed to tackle during the game?
Yeah.
Not good.
No, not good overall. I think a couple bright spots only came on the defense, obviously with Jake Hansen going out, which was really scary to see.
Yeah, that stunk.
You had Tariq Barnes come in, a sophomore. Haven't really heard much about him. He comes in and plays really well.
He obviously,
him and Sidney Brown combined for that fumble, and then he picked it up and took it in for the only score of the game. And he was pretty disruptive consistently throughout the rest of the game. Then you have South Carolina State transfer Roderick Perry, D-tackle, right?
Yes.
D-tackle. Come in and kind of we said Isaiah Gay needed to bring something on the defensive side. He was obviously suspended for 1 game for violating team rules or something. Who knows? But he kind of came in and stepped up and proved he's worthy to be at the Big Ten level, obviously coming from the FCS level. And then you have Keith Randolph. Is he a redshirt freshman? I believe.
I'm not sure.
I believe he's a redshirt freshman. He kind of came in a couple plays, made some noise. So obviously the defensive line, or the front 7, I would say, as a whole, we expected to be probably the weakest point.
They weren't half bad.
And they looked the strongest until the middle of the third quarter when they got tired because they were on the field for like 20 minutes of the first half.
That's not their fault. The time of possession in that game was
Well, that's the thing,
insane.
is what I'm saying. Like, the whole first half, I thought the front 7 played well. The secondary, blown coverage.
Gabby, on that note, do you know what the time of possession was?
It was 40. It was like 47.
It was 43-28 to 16-32.
Yeah.
That's really bad.
Your defense is out there
really
for
bad.
43 minutes.
If they got tired in the third quarter, that's fine. I'm okay with that. If you split the time of possession easily, they would have been good.
The whole first half, Wisconsin couldn't establish the run game. Second half, defense was tired, clearly, because the time of possession after the first half was like 20-something to...
I think it was 22-8.
I think so, too. Your defense on the field for 22 minutes in the first half.
That's too much.
Of course, Wisconsin's going to be able to establish the running, just rack up more yards, rack up more touchdowns. Like, I'm more disappointed, and I think Lovey echoed this in the post game, was the disappointment in the blown coverages, disappointment in the secondary. Sidney Brown, blown coverage. Derek Smith had like 2 big ones.
Derek Smith and Sidney Brown got to get it together for Saturday because that was really bad.
And then you
their
obviously...
inability to cover Ferguson.
Yeah. With Devin Witherspoon out, you had to move Tony Adams back to corner when he was going back to safety this year. So now he's like flip-flopping around everywhere. You can't expect him to obviously... But I thought Tony Adams probably had the best game, like, of the secondary. Marquez Beeson obviously did not start, which we kind of knew was going to happen.
Kez was ineffective.
And he wasn't bad, wasn't good.
He was ineffective.
Yeah.
He was just neutral. If he's going to play like that, it was his first game, whatever. Wisconsin's good. I agree with you. Losing Witherspoon and Gay hurts. Really hurt. We're assuming they're back for Saturday. Mm-hmm. I think so. They
I mean, Isaiah Gay was only like a 1-game suspension, but Lovey won't offer anything past that. So for all we know,
Lovey,
it could turn into another game suspension.
And unfortunately, I don't think we're going to know until about 10:30 on Saturday.
Yeah.
Because that's how Illinois
Because we didn't know.
I
we
didn't
even know Daniel Matter-Babe was hurt.
We didn't know. They didn't announce that at all. Yeah, I don't think that I figured out about Witherspoon and Gay until 6:48, I think it was, because I remember Patty saying something about it because we were like, how late is this information coming out here?
I think we saw it at like 6:15 maybe.
Okay, that's pretty late though.
That's super late.
And on a Saturday morning, you're not going to get it that early either. So we can't say right now. We know they're not hurt, Witherspoon and Gay. We know they're not. Are they going to play?
Well, I think Witherspoon was out with an injury.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he was injured.
Okay.
Isaiah Gay was just suspended.
I know he was,
Witherspoon was injured. Okay. But I think everything seems to be fine this week.
All right, that's good. Yeah,
the biggest thing, which I'm sure you were about to segue into, is this whole COVID thing with Graham Mertz.
Exactly. So that's the next thing that I was going to lead into.
Talk about that.
That one we will know by Friday because they're going to get tested. They're getting tested every day. Lovie Smith told us yesterday on media that no one has it so far, but we know it can take up to 5 days. Graham Mertz has COVID. He has it. He has 2 positives. The odds of him not are extremely low. You know, the fans will say, "Oh, Illinois' defense didn't get near him anyways. Maybe they won't have COVID." But
that's funny.
Their Wisconsin teammates will have it. Graham Mertz is out 3 weeks, by the way. That's what happens if you catch the COVID. And we don't know. Again, another thing we don't know how it'll affect Illinois. I'm assuming that they're, going to put it out right away. Rod Perry has COVID. Nate Hobbs has COVID. I think they'd tell us right away. As of right now, though, no one has it.
No, but the thing is that Illinois isn't releasing like athletic COVID positive tests. And they don't have to. So I don't think we're going to find out if anyone tests positive till Saturday.
Oh, you don't think so? Okay.
No.
So we're on different pages. Okay.
Yeah. I think no one's going to tell us because why would they? They don't want to disclose that. Wisconsin wasn't the one who announced Graham Mertz. Someone found that out. Like a reporter in Wisconsin found that out. And it's obviously been confirmed or whatever. So I don't think we're going to know till Saturday when they announce who's out. And then we could kind of speculate from there. But yeah, that's kind of a big deal. And obviously they're testing every day, but who knows? And I don't really fully understand this whole antigen testing.
Me neither.
Because I thought the idea of it was they catch it before you are able to infect anyone else.
Well, unfortunately, Gabby, I think that they do catch it. I'm not.
But Mertz, the backup Mertz's backup, so their third string, also tested positive, apparently, today.
Yeah. Mertz woke up Friday morning, supposedly all of his roommates were positive. Apparently, he knew that.
From where?
That's like the...
Is that the rumor?
I think that's what Wisconsin has been saying, or a teammate or something like that. I'm not sure about this antigen test.
I don't know.
It sounds like Isaiah Gay will be back, by the way, for Saturday. I think it was just a 1-game suspension. That's what Jeremy tweeted earlier, so that should be good. No word on anyone else, though. Let's hope Mertz didn't spread it to anyone else. Yeah, especially I don't wish it upon anyone. I hope none of his teammates have it. Obviously, no one knows that. Let's just really hope that Illinois doesn't have it because it could affect half the team.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. And then it's okay, if nobody knows this, it could have been spread to the offense side of the team. I don't know. I'm worried. Obviously, Graham Mertz is now out for 21 days.
It stinks for him.
That does stink for him because he's about to be probably the
Heisman front runner.
Yeah, at least near the Big Ten race. But yeah, I don't know. Guess we'll have to wait and see Saturday.
Yeah, 250 yards and 5 touchdowns. Quite a debut, but won't see him until at least week 5. All right, we're going to take a break here. When we get back, talk about Illinois. They lost another recruit last night. That's next on Illini Drive. Welcome back to Illini Drive. Yesterday, Bryce Hopkins from Fenwick announced his commitment to Kentucky. Illinois was in the Final Four along with, I believe, Providence, Kentucky, and Indiana. That's another in-state guy missed for Illinois. They've missed out on Jordan Nesbitt. They've missed out on Brandon Weston. They missed out on, was the DePaul guy, Love? That's 4 now. Yeah. That's too many guys. So far, 2021 has 1 recruit. Yeah. Luke Goody. He was a top 100 kid. Yeah. That's good. He's a shooter.
He's good. 4-star. We need a shooter. Yep. Illinois needs a shooter. I don't know. I'm just going to go with this fall is not Illinois' time. I think recruiting, especially in college basketball, is one of those things that just goes in waves. Right now, I think all these big guys want to go to a program where they can be the star. Right now, Illinois has a star. Illinois has a face. And Illinois, the projected face after Io is Adam Miller. With Corbello. I think some people, I think us included, are a little higher on Corbello, actually. Yeah. But Adam Miller is set to be this kind of next, Io DeSumo type character for Illinois. So I don't know if that's turning some guys away from the Illinois program because obviously I feel like years ago, the big thing was like powerhouse teams. Like Duke always had like a ton of just like the top recruits. Like now these guys want to go to a team where they want to be the star. It's kind of turning a little like the NBA to a certain extent. Like everybody wants to be the star. Everybody wants to be the big guy. Everyone wants to be the face of the team. Which I can understand, but at the same time, like, you need to find guys who want to win. And win, consecutively or consistently, I guess what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like some of these one-and-done type guys, like Bryce Hopkins, Nesbitt, things like that, obviously you want a guy like that. But I don't think you need him. And I think as bad as it looks that we've missed out on all these recruits, I feel like Underwood's type of player is a more of a DeMonte, of a Trent. Obviously, he's gotten Io, he's gotten Adam, he's gotten Kofi. But look, you've kind of turned Io into a 3-year player when a lot of people projected him to be one and done. Obviously, if this pandemic never happened, we probably wouldn't see Io back in an Illinois uniform. But things happen. World is wild, unpredictable. So I think Underwood's guy in general is that 3-4 year type of guy, that culture type of guy, that just a guy like an Andres Felice who's just kind of like a dog out there. Like, so I don't know if this is necessarily bad. And I think there's room to work. There's the transfer portal, like we've talked about. The biggest thing, and I've said it so many times because I feel like we've had this conversation so many times recently, is getting that center, Mackie Etienne.
Yep.
As much as you want guards and as much as you need wings,
Illinois kind of set on those right now.
If you're Illinois, your big change was having, obviously, Io, but your big offensive change was having Kofi and having a big presence in the middle. And if you lose that on top of losing your top guy in Io, you lose both those things, you might have to rework how you run your offense. You might have to rework your team. So I think for Illinois, the bigger get is Mackie Etienne.
I agree. Out of any of those guys, maybe even Hopkins, if I had to choose one, it would be Etienne because you have Miller and Corbello coming, and then you have Goody, that's another wing. So the most important right now, I believe, would be Mackie Etienne. Mm-hmm. But there is some concern because I think that what a lot of guys are thinking about right now is like, oh, okay, if I, go somewhere and then another COVID situation happens, Kentucky's a bigger name than Illinois, maybe. Or like I'd be like the only star here where Illinois already has stars. And you can't punish yourself for getting good recruits in the past, but that's the reality of it right now. Part of the reason that I believe that they're missing on recruits. So I agree with you. I think that Etienne is definitely gonna be the most important. If they don't get him, I'm not sure if there's gonna be more than one guy in the 2021 class.
Yeah, and I think we actually talked about this a little with Ryan Baker today. And he did bring up a good point in saying that the two transfers in Austin Hutcherson and Jacob Grandison kind of give you a little cushion when it comes to this 2021 class. Yeah. So if it was just Luke Goody and let's say like a middle of the pack transfer type of guy, which I'm sure they'll go and get if they end up with just one in their 2021 class, I think you'd be fine for next year. Like, you obviously wouldn't be nearly as good as you are now, but you'd hold your own to stay competitive. And I think that's the thing is, and here's the reality of it. They were on a roll recruiting. Io, Kofi.
Oh, yeah.
Andre Corbello, Adam Miller, Luke Goody. A lot of big-name guys. They got 2 transfers. They got a lot of big-name guys right in a row. You have to hit a decline at some point. You have to, you can't stay on that high forever. That's just not how the world of college basketball works.
Because unless you're a blue blood.
Yeah, because there's just so many good teams and so many good coaches out there nowadays and so many incentives to go to different places that you're not always going to get the top guys. So I think that's something to think about. You can't knock on Underwood and his staff for not getting these guys. Obviously, it's upsetting, and you wish it was a different way, but things like you can't be trending upwards forever. And I think that's the thing that Illinois fans have to remember.
And again, you worry about 2021 or 2022 when those years come. Right now, Illinois is worried about playing the season, getting through a season, and potentially winning a Big Ten championship and a national championship. But Io is, if they play a season, Io's gone 100%. No 100%. Doubt in anyone's mind. And I'd give Kofi at least an 80% chance to be gone
Probably
as well
90.
as what?
I'd say 90.
As he should. Exactly.
Yeah, no, and that's expected.
I would say maybe 40-60 for Miller, and Curbelo would stay. Obviously, Georgie will be there. The transfers will be there, all of that. You bring Luke Goody in. Who's going to play the center? That's the question. Is it going to be Georgie? I sure hope not. Will it be a transfer? Probably.
Yeah.
Could it be Mac Etienne? Absolutely.
I would hope so.
If you get there. But, you know, Bryce Hopkins, he's a guy, he said, you know, keep forgetting that these guys are younger than us, Gabby. It's kind of weird to think about now.
I know.
Said ever since he was like an 8 or 9-year-old, he's been watching Kentucky. I think one of the first seasons he watched of college basketball was when Kentucky was 38-0 and lost to Wisconsin. So they were a fun team to watch. Obviously, Cat was down there. That was like 5 or 6 years ago. Wow. But, you know, if you don't get a guy like that, who cares? You shake it off, you go like the next guy. I'd just be interested to see if Illinois is able to get a guy like Mac Etienne, because no one thought they'd get Kofi. Mm-hmm. They got Kofi. That's
the thing. It's like you look at Illinois, and there's going to be an immediate need for Mac Etienne, which, depending on the type of guy he is, could look really attractive. I'm sure he knows he's good. I'm sure he is super confident in himself. And if that's the case, then he's going to think he can come in and obviously win the starting job super easily, be a huge impact freshman year like Kofi was, and maybe even be a 1-and-done, 2-and-done type of deal. So obviously Antigua, Coach Orlando Antigua recruited Kofi, so I'm assuming he's doing the work with Mac Etienne, and that's a great pitch for Antigua to have is, you know, look what I've done with Kofi. Like, look what this program has done with Kofi. Look what Kofi has brought to this program. Like, you know, this could be you type of thing. So I think there's incentive there. I think there's a huge incentive there for Mac to come to Illinois. And it's not like you're playing with nobodies. You're playing with Andre Curbelo, Adam Miller, these two transfer guys who obviously we'll see what they do, Coleman Hawkins, Luke Goody. You know, you're playing with some top guys, too. It's not like you're coming in here and you're the only good player. So he can win. You know, like there's the ability for this guy to come in freshman year and win like Kofi did. So I think it's an attractive offer. And I have to assume that Illinois is really getting on this guy hard and they're really pursuing him. Probably the same level they pursued a Kofi and an Io and Adam.
Yeah, he's from Brewster Academy in New Hampshire. Obviously just, you know, one of those awesome high school basketball schools up in the Northeast. 24/7 has him as either number 41 or 44 in the country. Their list for him is Illinois, Miami, Arizona State, Connecticut, and Iowa. The two warm schools are Illinois and Miami. ESPN has him as the 64th best player in their ESPN 100.
How big
with
is he?
Offers from Kansas, Ohio State, among others. He's 6'10", 220. The 220 is a little concerning.
Yeah, but, I mean, and again, Coach Fletcher, the strength coach for the basketball, is probably one of the best strength coaches in the country, I would say.
Absolutely.
He's done amazing things with everyone's body. Like, Io has put on so much weight. Kofi just looks phenomenal.
Kofi's going to be.
Georgie.
Oh, man.
Georgie looks crazy compared to, like, how he came in. Dude has, like, an 8-pack. Yeah. Like, Coach Fletcher is amazing. So that's just another sell. That's what I'm saying. Like, the way that this program, the current staff of the program can utilize big guys and can kind of transform them, I think is a huge sell. So it'll be interesting. And I guess we'll have to wait and see. Yeah. I'm hoping.
Again, I feel like we're talking about this every week or two. That's how many recruits we've missed on. All right, before we go to break in a few minutes, there's one undefeated team left in the NFL.
Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, that was, that was an impressive win. Steelers at the Titans. It's my team.
You guessed it.
Gotskowski choked it away.
Don't care.
Okay.
Don't care.
You earned the win. Good job.
We did earn the win. I'm happy. And I'm so sick of hearing they haven't played anyone yet. Look at the combined wins. I don't care the combined wins. I don't care. about anyone else's record, but besides the Steelers being 6-0, it's still impressive to be this far into the season and be undefeated. I don't care who you played. Like, it's impressive. And you played a Browns team that was on a roll. You stopped the Browns' hot streak when everybody was like, oh my God, Browns are legit. And I think the Browns are a solid team still. Obviously, the loss of Odell is huge and super unfortunate. But then you come in and you play this undefeated Titans team who's talking all this smack about...
Crushed the Bills at home.
Crushed the Bills, a really good team as well. And you go into Tennessee. This is an away game for the Steelers, not a home game at Heinz Field where you have the advantage. No, this is an away game. And, I mean, through this first half, they handled them. I think Illinois. The Steelers came out with a really good first drive, and that just set the pace of the game. They won the coin toss and elected to be on offense first to receive, which you never really see
confidence.
Anymore. That's confidence in your first drive of the game, because Steelers hadn't scored on their first drive the whole season. And Tomlin had been getting a bunch of questions, and in the post-game press conference, he was like, now you guys can stop asking me about it. Yeah. He's funny. But
I love Mike Tomlin.
I love Mike Tomlin. He's so funny. He's just says the weirdest things, like the weirdest analogies and metaphors. Like, if you just listen to his press conferences, they're so funny. But I think it's impressive. I said this from the beginning of the Titans week. If anybody was going to stop Derrick Henry, it'd be the Steelers. The Steelers' D-line is arguably the best in the nation right now, I'd say. Yeah, I think the Steelers' defense as a whole is one of the best.
Derrick Henry got me,
if not the best.
He got me like no fantasy points.
Yeah.
What was that all about?
Because Steelers' defense is good.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I was impressed. I was skeptical about your Steelers. You know I love Mike Tomlin. I've been very open about that. But, man, they look really good right now. Big Ben didn't even play that well. I'm sorry.
No.
He did not play that well. 3 interceptions? No bueno.
Yeah. I mean, the one at the end of the half, I don't really count as an interception because he kind of just launched it as time ran out and tried to see if anybody could catch it. Obviously, still counts on the stat sheet. But, yeah, Ben didn't play his best. But here's the thing with the Steelers right now on offense. Obviously, you have this phenomenal defense, which is just Steelers culture. The offense has a lot of weapons. James Conner's playing well. You have a really solid backup in Penny Snell. And then you have these receivers. Obviously, Juju's your number one, so he's going to be doubled a lot. He had a really good game. I think he had 9 catches, which was the most he had in a while. He had a really solid game, no touchdowns, but he had a lot of good setup plays, a lot of good first down plays. But then you have Chase Claypool, who has proved he is so worthy of playing at this level, proved why he was the Steelers' first pick. You have Deontay Johnson, who is a little injury prone, but anytime he's on the field, he produces. James Washington is, fine. And then you have Eric Ebron and Vance McDonald. Vance being more of your blocking tight end, but Eric Ebron's a huge red zone threat. And so you have all these guys that Ben can throw to. You never really know who's going to get it that game. Like, a couple weeks ago it was Chase Claypool. This week it was Deontay Johnson. Like, you make the defenses spread themselves really thin. And I think that's the thing with the Steelers offense right now. Ben doesn't have to play phenomenal. And he can't because he's old. He's not what he once was. He's coming off this surgery. So that's my biggest thing with the Steelers offense right now. And that's the most exciting thing to me is that your quarterback, that Ben Roethlisberger does not have to play 100%, that these receivers are going to bail him out at some points.
Yeah, love your team the way Gabby loves the Steelers. In very non-similar news, the Bears stink. Great defense, awful offense. Not much more to say about last night's game with them. 24-10. It was terrible to watch. Gonna leave it there. We're gonna take a little break. When we get back, Gabby, Bachelorette's on tonight. We get your little preview. That's next on Illini Drive. Welcome back to Illini Drive. It's Tuesday, which means The Bachelorette is on tonight. I will be watching for the first time.
Yay!
Yeah, that's why we'll be seeing more of Gabby tonight, because she's dragging me to her apartment to watch The Bachelorette.
A little much.
All right, Gabby, for someone like me who actually really does need it because I haven't watched yet.
I know.
Fill me in. Give me a preview of what's going to happen, or what's happened before, too. Yeah, fill me in on everything, actually.
So, Wire filled you in last week if you were listening.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the weird dodgeball.
Yes, scary dodgeball. So, we're about to be 3 weeks in to The Bachelorette. We all know that Claire does not stay on for much longer, as she confesses or whatever happens that she wants to only be with Dale and she leaves the show. Tayshia comes on. I'm pretty sure that's all going to go down in episode 4, which will be next week. So I think this week is setting up the breakdown. What I've seen from previews is the guys get mad. This one guy who seems like a really not nice person, can't use other language on this radio show, but a not nice person. He basically like goes off on her, he says like, he's like, I thought the oldest bachelor, or like the oldest bachelor in history would be better than this. Like, okay, you don't have to bring her age into this. Like, that's a little much. So she goes off. So I think tonight is where we really set up the downfall of Claire's bachelorette reign. Not sure. Well, this phone's ringing for some reason. Anyways, I think this is the kind of setup for Claire's downfall and Tayshia's come up, which will hopefully come in the next episode. So I think there's going to be a lot of drama tonight, which is when The Bachelorette is at its best. The high levels of drama.
Kind of excited. I'm not going to lie to you.
No, it should be good. I'm not really sure. I don't really know. Well, there wasn't a rose ceremony at the end of last episode. So we'll probably get that first, which is always fun. I love when they start off with the drama. Create the drama right away, set the tone.
But because of all the spoilers, it sounds like, again, I've never watched this show before, but it sounds like we already know what's going to happen. I don't like that.
So we know what's going to happen with Claire.
Yeah.
But then we have to go the whole rest of the season with Tayshia.
Right.
And she does her
tonight,
own.
are we going to get anything big? I guess you could be there for the drama, but...
Yeah, I don't know if we'll get anything new. I mean, we'll see, like, who goes home. Because that's the thing is, like, Claire's sending these guys home that she isn't even going to end up, like, trying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's kind of frustrating because, like, what if Tayshia, like, liked those guys? And they don't end up coming back. I already read that. So.
Maybe that's part of the storyline this time. I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm not the person to... Right, yet. I'm not the person yet to be talking about it.
I'm training you to become the next Bachelor Insider.
Me, you, and Brendan?
Yeah.
Doesn't Nathan watch it too?
Yes, Nathan.
Hey, all for the squad. All right.
That's why you have to watch it. That's why. So we can all...
I told you it'll be my first time. I watched a little bit of Hannah B with my old friend. And this is just going to be something new. It's The Bachelorette again. I've never watched The Bachelor before.
We'll watch
Probably
that.
won't watch it. Oh, okay. I was going to say I probably won't watch it.
No, we'll watch it.
Yeah.
Should be a good one tonight.
Should be a good one. All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for tonight. We're going to wrap the show up just a little bit earlier today. From Gabby and Josh, this has been Illini Drive. Thanks for listening.